Hello, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us here. We've got uh, Kaylee McGraw-Oldroyd and wow. Her class is Use Lucidchart to enhance your genealogy reports and presentations. A quick word on Kaylee. She's a professional genealogist specializing in Latin America and Southern European research. She holds a bachelor's degree in family history and genealogy from BYU. She currently is a digital inventory specialist for Family Search and an online adjunct instructor for BYU Idaho, teaching Introduction to Genetic Genealogy. She has created multiple finding aids for the Family Search Research Wiki, including the Costa Rica Catholic Church Parish Finding Aid, and has continued the research for this project for Nicaragua, Uruguay, and Brazil. Her primary genealogical research focuses on enslaved families in Brazil during the time of the Lei do Ventre Livre. Don't know how to pronounce that, sorry. The free womb law, and Italian immigrants to Santa Catarina, Brazil. And I'll give the time over to her.
All right, thanks. Okay, so today I'm thrilled to welcome you to today's webinar where we'll be exploring a fascinating intersection between technology and heritage, utilizing Lucidchart as your one-stop shop for creating diagrams for your genetic genealogy reports. While Lucidchart may not be explicitly designed for this purpose, its versatility and robust features make it an invaluable tool for visualizing and organizing genetic genealogy data in innovative ways. Genetic genealogy at its core is about unraveling the mysteries of our ancestry encoded within our DNA. It's about tracing our familial connections across generations and continents, piecing together the puzzle of our genetic heritage. And Lucidchart offers a canvas upon which we can paint this intricate portrait of our past. Like the introduction said, my name is Kaylee McGraw-Oldroyd, and I work for Family Search as a digital inventory specialist and an online adjunct instructor for Brigham Young University, Idaho, online teaching the course Introduction to Genetic Genealogy. I first started using Lucidchart a few years ago when I was trying to describe difficult genealogical concepts to my students and wanted an easy-to-learn canvas where I wouldn't have to switch back and forth between programs or learn a whole new platform. I fell in love with Lucidchart because it's easy to pick up on as someone who is already familiar with Microsoft and Google products like Word, Sheets, and PowerPoint. The learning curve was quick, and I felt confident within a few hours of using it. And there are many other great genealogical products out there on the market right now, but sometimes it's nice to not have to start over and learn something new with each product you come across. In this webinar, I'll give brief tutorials on how to create pedigree charts, kinship diagrams, visualization for segment mapping, genetic reconstruction, the leads method, ideas on how to diagram research planning, and data visualization. Lastly, I'll demonstrate how you can use Lucidchart as a collaboration tool. As a note before we start, none of the individuals named in these examples are real people. The results are based off of real scenarios, but the data is fictional. It should also be noted that this class will not tell you how to interpret the data, but rather just illustrate your already researched information. You can find my template for these within your syllabus. If you click that link and download it, you can use it in your own Lucidchart. So you can't edit the one I have, but you can download it into your own and edit it however you want to. And again, that link is in the syllabus. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start screen sharing now. And so just let me know if it starts being wonky. I'm going to turn off my video as well so you don't see me scrunching up into the screen. All right, here we go. So here is my Lucidchart template that I showed you. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to make pedigree charts or descendancy charts. So Lucidchart is known for its intelligent diagramming, and one of the features already within its template database is for creating org charts or organization charts. And the great thing about org charts is they are a lot like family pedigrees, and I love to use them for creating descendancy charts. if you've ever done like some tree triangulation with your or your client's matches, you know how valuable it is to show a common ancestor among your matches. The first thing you'll want to do with your data is to put it in a spreadsheet or CSV file. In Lucidchart, you can import data from Bamboo HR, CSV files, Google Sheets, and Excel. In my case, right now, I'm just going to show you on Google Sheets. Now, this is where Lucidchart is not explicitly created as a genealogical database, because to create these org charts, you need the following. Every column of a table needs to have a header, and every individual has a quote unquote supervisor indicated either by a name or an employee ID. And every quote unquote supervisor is listed as a quote unquote employee. Even the CEO needs to be listed as an employee with a blank corresponding supervisor cell. So these three tabs these three columns right here are required to make these org charts or these pedigree charts. So in this case, I have made the ancestral couple of my descendancy chart the quote unquote CEO. And so I just left that blank. You can put CEO if it makes you feel better, but I'm just leaving it blank because they're not a CEO in my brain. And so as you can see here, I have these made up people, Adriana Nightingale and Gabriel Stone. They are the ancestral couple of some matches that I have that I want to demonstrate to my clients and show how they're related to this ancestral couple. And so here you can see that I didn't have anything here because they're the CEO, but the supervisor ID will just be where each individual ends up in the order of your descendancy charts. So like I said, those are the three required columns, and you can add others. For instance, I added centimorgans for these matches I have down here, the lifespan of some of these individuals, and other identifiers. Maybe you have like a family search person ID, you want to say how you found this person, or like an ancestry or MyHeritage, like public member tree, or just where the match is from. So as you can see, I made Adriana and Gabriel the ancestral couple. Then under them, I had their three children, Avalon, or Orion, and Seraphina. Again, I asked the computer to create up these names, so don't make fun of me for these names. I didn't want to use real people's names. And you can see that Adriana and Gabriel are employee ID number 1. And so because I wanted to list these three as the children of Adriana Nightingale and Gabriel Stone, I had their supervisor ID be number 1. So 2, 3, and 4 is their employee ID, and they will end up under Adriana Nightingale and Gabriel Stone as the children of them. And then you can see that I wanted Thaddeus Stone to be the son of Orion Stone. So Thaddeus Stone has his supervisor ID as 3, which you can see right here. The employee ID is 3 for Orion Stone. And then so on and so forth. I did that for the others. So this Lysander Stormcloak, I want him to be Avalon Nightshade's son. And so you can see her employee ID is number 2. And here's the 2 over here, indicating that I want him to be directly under whoever employee ID number 2 is. Okay, so I did the same for all of those. And now we are done. Usually Lucidchart can use Google Sheets, but I was having some presentation gremlins not work earlier. So another thing you can do is you can just click File and you can download it as a Microsoft Excel sheet or a CSV. It doesn't matter either way. And what we're going to do is we're going to come here into our tab for the pedigrees. I'm going to click right here where it says Import Data. So I click here, and then from here I'm going to click Org Chart. And then I'm going to click Import Your Data. So I'm importing my data, and I'm going to click Excel because I downloaded my data as an Excel sheet. So I'm clicking Next. And hopefully this won't give me problems like it was earlier. There we go. Nice, it's not. So there's my downloaded Excel sheet. I'm going to click open, and it's going to import the data. And it might take a second. Okay, and then from here, I'm just using exactly the already required everything that Lucidchart already has, the preset stuff. I'm not changing a thing, so this just stays the same. I set my Excel sheet up so that I don't have to change any of these parameters, but you are welcome to if you play with this. So then I click next. Again, I'm not changing anything, and I click finish. And so now it's going to create this beautiful little descendancy chart. And right now, it just has it like this. You can import images, but I don't have any images of these people, and I don't really care for that right now. So what I'm going to do to change all of these how I want it to be is I'm going to highlight everything, and I'm going to go over here on the right-hand side, and I'm going to click on the drop-down visualization. So I don't want any of these photos. I'm just going to change it to this. So since I've highlighted the whole thing, I can change all of them at once to have this shape style. Another thing, I like my stuff to be centered, so I'm just centering it like that. It centers everything because I have it all highlighted. And then I can choose the different fields I want. So I want the centimorgans for those that have it. So you can see it pops up right there. I want the lifespan for those that have it. I want other identifiers. And then that's all I want for my image. And from here, again, like I said, you can change it to be centered. You can put it up or put it down, however you like it. Just like if you were in Word and you were editing some images in there. And then from here, of course, I can change all of the text, however I want it to be in different text. Ooh, I don't like that one though. And then I can make it bigger if you're having a hard time seeing, all that kind of stuff. And it'll just automatically do it to all of them as long as I have it highlighted. Another thing you can do is, let's say, oh, I don't want, it's saying the centimorgans right here, but I don't have centimorgans for her. So I can just click her individually and I can unclick that so it doesn't have that space. Same for him. I don't want that part. And so you can edit these however you want. And maybe let's say on your Excel sheet, you messed something up and Seraphina actually isn't the daughter of Adriana Nightingale and Gabriel Stone. She's actually the daughter of Orion Stone. So you can drag and drop her over there, and then it's going to just put it all under Orion now. And so it's really easy to drag and drop. I really like it. You can move things around however you need to. You can also, once again, if you want to change the whole thing, you highlight the whole thing. You can change like the thickness of the line. You can change it to be dotted lines. Anything you want. You can change it however you want it done. Okay, now let's go on to the next one, which is kinship diagrams. I can get this to scooch over. So kinship diagrams may be useful in situations where you want to demonstrate to a client the relevance or irrelevance of a mitochondrial DNA test or a Y-DNA test. And these diagrams differ slightly from our regular genealogy pedigrees because they include symbols for each gender and can depict various scenarios. They're also beneficial for illustrating inherited health problems such as hemophilia A and B, which is located on the X chromosome, where females can be characters, but males are predominantly affected, in tracing their possible origins. So maybe if you're working with some geneticists or you're working with genetic counselors and you're doing some family history of different health-related deaths, or maybe you're helping with like cancer research, this might be a helpful visualization. Like I said earlier, if you're wanting to show a client, maybe you really want to do a mitochondrial DNA test and you want to say, this daughter is a perfect person to do this DNA test because she received mitochondrial DNA from this ancestral couple that we're trying to find something out. Sorry, my mouse is being a little slow and I'm not able to click. There we go. And I see all y'all on here. Cool. And same here, if we wanted to say, you know, I really think we should do a Y-DNA test for this person because we don't know anything about this man. And so he's the only one that has the Y-DNA we need. This is a great little tool that you can use. Just how to use it. Like over here, you have your shape legend, and you can change these shapes as much as you want. So as you can see, there's other shapes over here. If you don't want to use the triangle, you can change it to a rectangle and stuff like that. I'm just going to leave it as is though. And so let's say I want to add another male. I'm going to just click on this and I'm going to do a Control C, or you can right click and you can click copy and you can paste it right here. And then you can draw some lines between those two if you're trying to show a relationship. And as you can see, if you just hold it in the right place, you can have an automatic little line pop up. And it's giving me a hard time, I think, because other people are on the page right now, and that's okay. That's fine. But it's just making it a little slower. There we go. Okay. And as you can see, I can just draw that down and fix that line however I want it and make it look good. However, I can also get rid of the arrow if I don't like the arrow. So I can say none if I don't want an arrow and all that kind of good stuff. And if I don't like it, I just click delete on my keyboard and delete there. So those are the kinship diagrams, and it also has a little tutorial here on the side for how to edit this template. So this one is already in the Lucidchart template library, which I'll show you how to get to in a little bit. Okay, the next thing I wanted to show you was segment mapping. So I need to scroll back up and scroll back over. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Give me a second, hold on to your seats. There we go. Okay, so here is segment mapping. So this would be useful in a situation where you have multiple, like maybe you've gotten a chromosome browser from, or you've looked at a chromosome browser from MyHeritage, and you've looked at one from Ancestry, and you've looked at the one from GEDmatch, and you're just wanting to compile that all together into one place. And so this is right now, it's just for one person. It just shows the 22 autosomal chromosomes. And how you can edit this is you can take each little segment. So each segment is a different color. And as you can see, I clicked on this green one. If I wanted to make it smaller, I can go like this, just resize it, make it larger. If I want to bring, say this green one, I'm wanting to make it bigger and it's stuck behind this yellow one, I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to arrange. And I'm going to say bring to the front. And so that way it's larger. Or if maybe I want it to go to the back because that's how I want it to be, I just right click on it, arrange, send to back, and I can just adjust these however I need to. Now, let's say you've downloaded this, but you don't want it to be for just one person. You want to show the different ethnicities between two people. Let's just highlight a couple of these, and then you can do a Control C or right click, and then you can move over somewhere else, paste it, and here you have it, and you can change it up however you want. Again, this isn't for showing you how to interpret your results, it's just kind of showing you the things you can do. I've just created it like this so you can edit it how you want. If you wanted to, you can delete the different segments. Let me paste that down. Let's see. So I'm gonna just click on one tiny one. I'm gonna delete that, and I'm gonna delete this one. And then you can just make this one long one. like this if it's just one thing, and edit it however you want. And so that's kind of just a cool way to do this. Another thing you can do is you can do conditional formatting. If you're like used to doing that in Excel, you can also do some like if-then statements and say like if the green is this color, make this part a different color. And again, if you want like further instruction on that, Lucid has a learning center that you can look up how to do conditional formatting. It would take too long to go through that in this class. I don't have that much time. So if you're interested in that, again, look it up in the Lucidchart Learning Center. It's all free to look through for that. And here's another thing we can do. We can do genetic reconstruction. Just a little shout out real quick. If you're in person for Roots Tech, there's a session called Genome Reconstruction by Tanner Blair Tolman. It's tomorrow, Friday at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time in room 255D on how to actually do this. But if you're not in person, it's not recorded, unfortunately, but there's lots of other cool information online. And in the Blaine T. Bettinger Guide to DNA Testing and Genetic Genealogy book, he kind of goes over how to do this. And this example is kind of taken from the example that's in the book. So let's say we have two individuals and we know that this is their DNA, and we want to show how different descendants have different portions of their DNA. This is a great example of how we could do that. If you wanted to start over, one way you could do that is you can just highlight mine. Again, like I said, if you downloaded this, don't highlight the whole thing though. Just highlight these two. And you can copy, put it into your own Lucidchart, and you can start over here, make it blank, make it pink, whatever color you want, change the names. And then if you want to start doing your own, showing the different segments that somebody inherited, I would just copy that blank one, come over here, I'm doing Control V to paste, and then I can move the whole thing down and connect it right here. And then from here, I just am going to click this one little box. Again, I just created these with these shapes over here. So if you wanted to create your own, you can do that yourself. Or if you like mine, you can click just that one. You can click Control C to copy. And then I'm going to just paste it over here. And I'm going to make it green like this one, because that's the color I chose to represent my ancestral couples. And then I'm going to just overlap it on this one chromosome. And I'm going to just adjust the size. So I can say, oh, it's just about this many centimorgans. And, you can type in, add text box to say, this is 84, an 84 centimorgan long segment, and adjust it as needed to show how they inherited that segment, or which parts they inherited. And over here, of course, you can just click and you can just start typing. If you double click on the screen, you can start typing, and you can say 74 centimorgans or whatever you need to represent, and move it. Sorry, my screen's a little slow right now. It's not letting me show you exactly, but you just get to the point where you can move it. There we go. And usually it's a lot easier if there's not a whole bunch of people on it collaborating, even though it's really great for collaborating, but it might be a little slow if you have a bunch of people on it. But yeah, so you can move it and label it however you need. The next thing I wanted to show was the Dana Leeds method. So of course you can do this in Excel, you can do this anywhere you want, but maybe you want to use Lucidchart as like kind of just a place to keep all of your research findings and visualizations. And so what you can do is you can, again, use my template. You can copy it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to highlight the whole thing. I'm going to Control C it. And you can always right click however you like to do stuff. I like to use key controls. I'm going to Control V over here, paste it, and I'm going to take everything out once I can do that. So I'm just going to click here. I'm going to delete the names. I'm going to rechange it. So I'm going to just make this one person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4, person 5, person 6, person 7, person 8, and we'll do person 9. Okay, and then I'm just going to highlight this. And I accidentally highlighted the other one, but that's okay. I'm going to change the fill color to just white. And then I will from here be able to follow, Dana Leeds method. I literally have it open on my other screen and I'm using her step-by-step example. And it says, in this example, I assign blue to person 1. So let's assign blue to person 1 right here. And if you click the square, then you can click the fill color. And from here, I'm going to assign it blue. And then from here, I'm going to show that person 1 showed shared matches with 2, 6, and 8. So I'm going to make this one. Person 2 gets blue. And then I'm going to show this one. Person 6 gets blue. And then person 8 gets blue. And then you keep going, so on and so forth. I could say person 3 gets orange. And person 3 also matches with person 9. And then again, so on and so forth. You're good. I'm going to delete this one really quick. Not that one, just this one. So that if I wanted to put this in a report to explain how a couple people matched up or might have some sort of triangulation, you can go to the file and you can do export. I usually do PNG because it's an image. And I'll show you more about that in just a little bit once we get through the other stuff. Then lastly, I have research planning. So this is more for like genealogical organizations or individuals who want to keep track of their research process. You can seamlessly organize your investigative journey from initial queries to the research goals of your project. And this was an already made project implementation template that I just changed the headings to research goals, DNA testing company and test type, collect DNA samples, analyze DNA results, and traditional research needed. You might want to do something completely different. This is just an example of how really cool Lucidchart can be, especially for different organizations to collaborate. This could be helpful when you are on a team who has different roles in the research process and tracking when each step is done. And you can use these little sticky notes over here on the side to copy and paste under each section. And if you want to delete stuff, so let's say I need to redo this part, I'm going to delete that. And so again, I'm just using my keyboard to do this. I'm clicking on the sticky note and I'm pressing delete on my keyboard. And over here, I want to add a new sticky note. I want to add a blue one because that's under research goals. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to do a Control C or copy however you want. I'm going to click right here where I want it. I'm going to paste it. And now I'm going to type in it. I'm going to say, find the ancestor of client X. And that's our research goal. And then you can say over here, ancestry test, autosomal DNA test needed. And then you can say their DNA was collected and already sent off to Ancestry. And then maybe the next person is going to analyze the DNA results. And then this part can be for the other person who does the traditional genealogy research. and all that kind of stuff. So again, I know this isn't super related to genetic genealogy, but maybe it could be helpful in keeping track of a research process in ways that aren't really easy to show like on a research log. So it's a little bit different than your actual research log when you're researching for clients. This is more the process and keeping track of all the things you need to do to get your reports and results to your wonderful clients. And then lastly, I wanted to share just some different ideas on some data visualization. So I included a pie chart because you might want to show the different percentages of an ethnicity estimate, and maybe you just don't want to screenshot the website. Maybe you want to make it different colors, or you want it to match the rest of your report in colors or font, anything like that. And this one shows you how you can do that. You can edit each section by selecting the shape and editing the details in the contextual panel. And then you can overlap the shapes to make your completed pie. So for instance, I can grab this and I can overlap it and it'll help me make it perfect like that. And then I can just drag and drop over here. On the right-hand side, you can choose the fill color. You can change it if you want, make it a different color blue, and all that kind of stuff. And you can go over here to arrange it. You can send it to the back, send it to the front. And that's just one example. So a pie chart. Another example, maybe you want to use a map to show migration. And so this is maybe not just genetic genealogy, but just general genealogy. Maybe you want to show that you had some ancestors that lived in this part of Brazil and they went to this part of Bolivia. And you can add in some of these little lines if you wanted to demonstrate that. And anything that you really want, like, and you can use these arrows to, anything you want. It doesn't have to be anything particular. You come up with really creative ways to show things to your clients. And you can say, this is where this person was born. Anything you want. And let me show you something else. So let's say you're trying to find something. They have a template gallery of things that are already made. And like I said, I already used a lot of these templates. The only ones that I really made up myself in Lucidchart is the Dana Leeds method, the genetic reconstruction, and the chromosome mapping. These other ones were already made templates. And so if I want to maybe look up a family tree, I can search family tree and it will show up all of these different diagrams that are already made. Again, like you can see this kinship diagram that I had imported already that I showed you guys earlier. There's this family tree. There's one with pictures. And the only thing about these ones is you can't import data like you can on the pedigree chart or like the descendancy charts I showed you earlier, but they're still really cool. So I can just press insert here and I can manually add different photos. I can add different names. So I can zoom in and I can change the names here. Just type Helena or something like that. And you can add it however you want. If you want to move the little circles, you have the option to do that and add things in manually like that. And that's pretty much it. I think I told you I was going to show you again how you can download these. So let's say this is something you want to put in your report. I'm going to click File, and then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click Export, and I'm going to export it however I want. I usually do the PNG, and here it is. It looks really beautiful, and then I click Download, and then I can enter it wherever I need to have it entered. And that's pretty much it on Lucidchart. I'm going to go ahead and restart my presentation if it will let me. It's giving me a little bit of a hard time. So here we go. So these are just the different things that we went through: genetic reconstruction, the Dana Leeds method, the research planning, the data visualization. Um, and if you would like to contact me, that's my email up there, kayleeoldroyd@familysearch.org. And then I also have my LinkedIn linked there. And if you have any questions, I'd like to open up the time. Again, we'd love to have your feedback. So if you could give us the feedback in the app, you just have to find the session in the Roots Tech mobile app, scroll down to fill out the survey, and then let us know how the session was. But other than that, you're welcome to start giving me questions that you have.
Awesome. Thank you, Kaylee. That's
Or
really cool. All those, I mean, all already built-in things and the ones you've created. That's awesome. So, conveniently, a lot of the questions in the chat have been answered by someone from
Lucid.
Lucidchart.
Yeah. Hi, Kira. Yeah.
So, let's see. I think there was a question though. I couldn't exactly tell what they were trying to ask, but it says, what was the handout instruction list that was referenced for the leads chart?
Oh, okay. Can I paste it in the chat and you give it to them? That wasn't in the syllabus. I just was saying.
Oh, okay.
So I
Yeah.
referenced the Dana Leeds method, and it's on her blog, so danaleeds.com. And so I'm pasting it in my chat, and then
Okay.
Nate will paste it over into y'all's chat on the website.
Yeah. And then we've got another question.
Mhm.
She says, can you show an example of an export into a PDF or Word doc?
Sure, yeah. Let me do that real quick. Hopefully I don't have anything crazy. Oh, yep, it's just my other syllabus. Okay, so let's do that. Give me one moment to get my Word to open up. I'm going to do a blank Word, and then I'm going to go over here. So let's say, okay, so I'm going to say I've already written my report and I want to add this in. I'm going to go to File. I'm scrolling down to Export. And like I said, I like to do the PDF or the PNG. And I'm going to download it. And then I'm using Chrome, so it's going to pop up here for me, but it'll probably also pop up in your downloads on your computer. And then depending on how you like to use Word, I usually just copy it. So I'm going to copy this, and then let me put my blank Word over here. So I have my Word open. Here's my blank document. And I just do a Control V into my document, and there it is. And then you said you wanted to see how it looked in a PDF. So same idea, just File, scroll down, export to PDF. And so if that's all you're wanting to share, then you would download it, and I'll show you how it looks in just a second. Here we go. Oh, it showed up on my other screen. Let me drag it here. Here it is in PDF format, just like that. Another thing, this is kind of silly, but if, for instance, you want to add like a citation, I know sometimes that's like always a bugger for me whenever I'm wanting to add citations to things. You can also add text to the bottom, and you can say, see reference 1 or something like that. And then in Word, you can add your little footnotes and all that kind of stuff. So if I type down here, whenever I go to File and I want to access it as a image, it will show that C reference 1 down there. And then people can go to your references and look at that for the citation of how you got all this information. So you don't have to cluster it all up. Or maybe if you want to put designated numbers, for instance, that could be another one. You could probably put like citations over here, and you could say citation 1. And then whenever you import it, you can add that as one of the fields over here, like these employee fields, and you can click it. And then you have that like citation one. And then at the end of your document, you can have the citations for each of the persons. Any other questions coming through?
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, one other. It says, would you please repeat the required columns in a spreadsheet?
Yes. Okay, so the required columns are always going to be this employee ID, the name, and then the supervisor ID. So those are the three minimum you have to have in order to do that import. And again, I just use regular numbers. I just say 1, 2, 3 based on like how I have it. And sometimes I draw this out physically before putting it in here. And obviously you're not going to put a little crappy drawing that you drew into your research report. So this is a great way to visualize that. And then I can see, oh, I want number 1 to be under number 2, and I want number 5 to be under number 4, and so on and so forth. So yeah, these are the 3 ones. And like I said earlier, it's not necessarily made for genealogy, so you just have to use these fields. If you don't want to get super technical in Lucidchart, I'm sure you could change them. But for my brain's sake, I thought it was just easier to keep it as is so that I can just do the automatic what they have. So like I said earlier, so we can import the data and I don't have to change a thing. So I do the org chart, import your data. I'm going to do the Excel sheet next. And it takes a moment and I'll import this. And this way I don't have to change any of these fields. And I think that's easier for kind of beginners too, because it's already employee ID, supervisor ID. I'm not changing it to anything fancy. And then finish and import. Any other questions?
I'm not seeing any other questions just yet. Well, none others that haven't been answered.
All right. Well, again, thank you, everyone. Please be sure you leave the feedback in the slides. If you have any questions about my templates, you're free to email me. Again, these templates are just in a view only mode right now, but if you want to, let's say you sign into Lucidchart, you create your own account, you would just go to File, and then you can click duplicate, and then you would have it in your own Lucidchart so that you can edit it however you want. And I think if you've asked already questions about licensing and stuff like that, I included that in the syllabus as well. I included a link at the very bottom under resources, and you can click this Learning Center link, and I'll click allow. And I think this brings you to the page where you can learn about, oh no, this is just the Learning Center. Sorry about that. But you can click here for product, and you can see like the paid plans for individuals and the team and enterprises and all that kind of stuff. And it looks like there's a sign up for free kind of trial here.
Yes. So some people are saying that the link to the template isn't working for them. Is that possibly that, like, I don't know.
I'm not sure why that is, because I see I don't know if you guys can see up here, but because it is a collaborative platform, you can see everyone who's on it, and I can see that there's quite a few of you already in it. So it might be that you don't have a login yet. So you'll need to create an account for maybe that link to work.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
my one guess. Yeah.
Yeah. And then another question came in. Let's see. Oh yeah. How do you decide to use PDF versus PNG versus JPEG formats?
Okay, great question. So I think that's really personal preference. I wouldn't do a PDF unless this is all you were wanting to give to a client. So if you were doing just a PDF, that would mean this is standing alone on its own. If you are putting it into a report, like I showed you earlier, I would do a PNG or a JPEG. I'm not super tech savvy. I don't really know the difference between a PNG and a JPEG. I mean, sometimes some softwares only allow a PNG versus a JPEG. I don't know why. I'm only a genealogist. But yeah, I would just choose JPEG or PNG depending on and usually your like Word will tell you it's like I can only accept PNG or I can only accept JPEG, but I usually PNG works just fine for me. Like I showed in this example where I pasted the PNG right into my document, and then I can type whatever I need to explain how I drew these conclusions. And that's usually just what I've done. I'm sure there's lots of different things, as you can see, that you can do, but I usually just use, the export to PNG.
Okay, great. One other question, and we still have time, so let's
Mm-hmm.
see. She says, what if you have a chart you want to continue to add to, and you're doing it on Google Charts? How would you add these people to Lucid without ruining your work you've done already on Lucid?
I'm assuming you mean like in relation to this pedigree chart. Hopefully that's what she means or he means. So when they're using the pedigree chart and you're just still finding things out about people, um, these are totally separate and you can just re-upload again. So let's say you've edited this and you want to upload another one. Again, I'm not sure I'm quite understanding the question, but I've already done everything over here and I don't want to change it. It doesn't really matter because you can change this however you want. You can add another match 10 here. I'm going to make it number 14. I'm going to make it under 8 and then add whatever else I have. And then I can download it again into Excel. Again, like I said, you can just directly do it into from Google Sheets, but it wasn't quite working for me earlier. And I think that was a me problem, but I'm just going to do it like this. So I'm going to do it into Excel. And then I'll click next because I had this edit that I made. And I'm going to bring this over here just in case I have any company data. Okay, and I'm going to put this back. It's Tech 2020. Okay. There we go. Okay, and then here you can see this is my updated Excel sheet where I had all that other data because I have a new person that I added, but I don't want to mess up the one I already created, the org chart I already created. I'm going to open it, and then it will just create me another separate table. So I'm going to keep the format as is. And as you can see, this is a second one it added.
Yeah, and maybe their question was asking, they want to add more data, but like you showed previously, you had made some edits, like changing the style of
Yes.
what they look like. And if you re-import it again, would it, uh, I mean, it looks like you do have to kind of make those changes again.
Yeah, you have to redo it. I'm sure you could probably do conditional formatting, like I said. And so in at the Lucidchart place, I find it easier to just Google things. So if I do Lucidchart um, conditional formatting, it will pull up their learning center and it says level up your diagramming with conditional formatting, and they have some other like click guides and stuff like that. So I could click that and learn how to do that if that's something you feel like um, you could understand. But it's like conditional formatting in your Excel. You could make it to where every time that you import something, it will automatically change it to this style that you like using the conditional formatting. Um, Does that answer her question? Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Got another question.
hmm
It says on the org chart, the three with the centimorgans show the amount shared with the client, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So this would be like an example. Let's say these matches were actual names, but you have it in your chart as match four. And so that's how many centimorgans you, like, say you took the DNA test, you share 74 centimorgans with match four. And then you can kind of, you've done this tree triangulation with like traditional genealogy research and you found y'all's common ancestors. And then you can say, this makes sense because 74 centimorgans is usually around this relationship, like a that's not true. It's not first cousin, but it's a first cousin relationship. And you can say in your report, I was able to tell this because using the shared centimorgan project, this makes sense because we should be this relationship based off of this chart, and the DNA centimorgan matches up, saying in your proof statement, stuff like that.
Awesome, thank you.
Mhm.
Let's see, not seeing any new questions that could be passed on just yet. Let's see. Yeah, there's a lot of good collaboration going on in the chat, so that's
Nice.
nice. Uh, Someone said, do you use the free version or the paid version of Lucidchart?
I personally have it under my organization. So for Family Search, we get to use it. And so Kira might be able to better answer that. I don't know exactly what version I have. I think I have all of the tools available just through my organization. Um, but Kira, could you answer which version I have? The full version, probably. I think I have access to all the tools.
Yeah.
Again, sorry, I'm not a Lucid employee. I just like Lucid.
It's a really awesome tool.
Mhm.
A lot of people saying thank you, and this is awesome. So, not sure if we have any other questions. Could end it here or try and wait for some more. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, if there's any other questions, go ahead and pop them in the chat. I think, are we still able to see those questions and answer them kind of like we were last year? Is it the same
Yes.
chart on Family Search? Yeah. So if
Yeah.
you just have any questions, you're free to continue to ask those. Maybe something comes up over time and I can go back and look at that chat every once in a while. Or like I said, if I just never respond to that because I forget to go and look at that chat, email me and I might not know the answer, but I might be able to know someone who does know the answer and give you a link to a tutorial or something like that.
Awesome. Okay. Well, thank you again so much. Great job. And I think that's it.
Yeah, thanks guys. Have a wonderful rest of your root stack.